guy.
Eat donuts.
Oh, you can't eat donuts.
No, you
What,
cannot eat
communist?
donuts. I am. I'm a communist cutie.
Those are gluten-free.
Morning. Do you like
Morning.
this
That's a
better?
healthy cup.
I know, and I drink 2 of those.
Guy might be running 5 or 10 minutes late.
Okay.
Yeah, but we don't have to wait for him, do
Well,
we?
you don't have to wait for him. No, you
No.
have a quorum.
Here?
Ms. Montori?
Here.
Mr. Morgan?
Here.
Mr. Lilly?
Here.
Mr. Monaco?
Here.
Mr. Pollard?
Here.
And Mr. Desai should be here shortly.
Thank you. All righty. So has anybody had a chance to look at the previous meetings, minutes? And can I have a motion to pass those meetings?
Chuck does that.
Chuck?
I make a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting.
Okay,
Second. All righty, thank you. Sherry?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. So this morning, we have a quasi-judicial hearing. So,
It's not quasi-judicial, it's just.
that's what it says on here.
That's one of the challenges. It's just under action item, so it's not, you don't have to swear anyone in.
Oh, okay. All righty. So thank you for clarification, Sherry. So, under the action items, we have ordinance 2025-01, evaluation and appraisal of the report of the comprehensive plan amendment for the city of Daytona Beach Shores. Gwen?
Chairman Bond. Good morning, board members.
Good morning.
Do you want the attorney to read the title first? Please.
All right, thank you. This is ordinance number 2025-01, an ordinance of the city of Daytona Beach Shores, Volusia County, Florida, relating to comprehensive planning, enacting amendments to the city's comprehensive plan update 2030 to, among other things, ensure consistency with the Community Planning Act as set forth in the Florida statutes, providing for implementing administrative actions such as transmittal to the Florida Department of Commerce and other agencies of government, providing for severability, providing for conflict/ratification of prior actions, providing for instructions relative to codification, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Gwen?
Thank you, Chairman Delange. And board members, good morning again. I'm Gwen Herstein, Daytona Beach Shores City Planner. This agenda item, ordinance 2025-01, pertains to the evaluation and appraisal report, or EAR. This is an EAR-based comprehensive plan amendment, which is required to be performed every 7 years. The comp plan and the land use, the comp plan, you probably know this, but it's a land use, some of you have heard this 3 times now, probably. Every 7 years, maybe not quite, maybe just 2. This comp plan, the comp plan is the land use policy document for municipalities in Florida. It's the local constitutional policy document, the tenets of which are implemented through the Land Development Code. Every 7 years, we evaluate our comp plan to ensure that it includes changes made over those previous 7 years, so our comp plan is consistent with Florida law. Director Cruz completed an analysis and through ordinance 2025-01 recommended the necessary updates. These updates were presented to the Planning and Zoning Board on January 13th, and approval was recommended. The City Commission approved them at first reading on February 4th, after which the prepared changes were transmitted to the State Planning Agency, the Florida Department of Commerce, and to other agencies like FDOT, FDEP, the Department of Education, and the St. John's River Water Management District. That analysis recommended extending the long-range planning horizon to 2045 and included changes to 5 of 12 of the chapters of the comp plan, which are called elements. We received summary comments back from the Florida Department of Commerce on April 18th of this year. When they return comments, if they have any, and when I say comments, that's used loosely. There are comments, there are objections, there are other ways that they can communicate how our plan met Florida statutes. When we received that letter on April 18th, it's called an Objections, Recommendations, and Comments Report. We call it an ORC report for short. The ORC report contained 1 objection and 2 comments regarding the city's submission, and I'd like to take you through these and the staff's responses to them. As you've already recommended approval for all of the rest of the changes that were included in that first version of the ordinance that you saw. There was 1 objection, which is mandatory to address before this EAR can be approved. It required the comprehensive plan map series be updated. And that means that it's updated to where we are today. Updates are made, the new date is placed on it, and it includes all sorts of things like annexations, changes to road classifications. It's a whole map series, and any changes over the last 7 years that would affect those maps needed to be changed and were done. Staff's response included securing the assistance of the East Central Florida Regional Planning Council to make these updates to future land use element and the transportation element maps by including, like I said, annexed properties, reflecting road class changes, etc. This is one example of all of the maps that were changed. This map is called 2-1 Major Thoroughfares by Functional Class, and this was updated. 2 of the roads actually changed classification in the last 7 years, and so this updated them and made it official in our comp plan. After that objection, there were 2 comments made. Comment 1 from this ORC pertained to our lack of including in our comp plan a provision to conduct feasibility studies for developments of more than 50 lots with more than 1 septic tank per acre. Though we don't have any developments fitting this description, a current or potential, any current potential for such development, we have recommended 1 objective and 2 supporting policies should we be in such a position in the future. Also, and this is what you can see on your screen is the objective and the 2 policies outlined in that fuzzed yellow area that we've simply added. Is it possible that we could be in such a position to need that objective and policies in the future? Yes, and so this satisfies the state and make sure that if something does change and we are in a position to need that objective and policies, they're already in place. A statement acknowledging this was also added to page 4 of our DIA. And that is, and also you can see it on page 41 of 110 of your hearing packet. The DIA, if you have not heard that in a while, is the data inventory and analysis. And it informs, basically, it's data that's compiled and analyzed, and that informs all of the goals, objectives, and policies in our comp plan. The second comment pertains to updating the city's water supply facilities work plan in the public facilities element of the comp plan. So they wanted us to update the city's water supply facilities work plan in the public facilities element of the comp plan. The Florida statutes require that we update it through 2034. We currently have agreements from our water suppliers through 2033, so that made that an interesting, there are a couple different ways that that could be approached. Director Cruz extrapolated the available data and indicated such in the comp plan. And we have been advised that there won't be objections from St. John's River Water Management Group, who would be the one who would weigh in primarily for objections to such.
Excuse me. Our two water sources are in the city of Port Orange and Daytona Beach,
Correct.
and we split our city, 2/3 of it, we get it from Port Orange and 1/3 from Daytona Beach. Is that about right?
Approximately.
Okay. That's correct. All right. Just for confirmation.
The split line is about in the middle, but you're correct as to the distribution.
Okay.
One's got fluoride, one doesn't.
I know.
I'm sorry?
One has fluoride, one doesn't.
Thank you.
Absolutely. This summary slide shows that when approved, these changes, along with those approved in February, will total 6 of 12 chapters updated, 3 of 46 objectives, and 19 of the 203 policies in the comp plan. As updated, our comprehensive plan will be consistent with Florida planning law and general planning law. And staff is recommending approval as presented. Any questions?
Thank you, Glenn. Any questions?
I noticed there's reference to beach off-street parking. We have an elaboration that you could give us on that?
That was basically a change that was recommended back when you saw it in January. It was initially recommended, and my understanding of it is that it allowed public land and quasi-public land to be used for off-beach parking spaces. And it was, so it was a change, and we can talk about exactly where, if you'd like. Chapter 5, the coastal management element, amended the policy to remove basically outdated community redevelopment area of off-beach parking and replace it with a commitment instead of basically, it basically committed to maintaining existing off-beach parking spaces rather than adding more.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
If I may add, that particular amendment, it was to eliminate a mandate that was required by the county when we had the CRA. So in order for the city to get the CRA back in 2006, 7, or whenever it was, the county obligated the city to provide 500 off-beach parking spaces, but because the CRA doesn't exist anymore, there's no need to have that mandate. But the city is committed, like as the city planner mentioned, to maintain the existing ones that we have.
So it doesn't mean that a couple of the existing parks that we have, we're going to convert them into parking. That's not is not what that says, right?
That's not what that commitment says
Okay.
at all.
Okay. That was my only concern. The first thing that came to mind was a couple of parks. Are we committing to turn them into parking lots? That was my concern.
That is not at all what that commitment states. It basically says what we have established through that commitment in the when we have the CRA, that we will maintain those and not eliminate them.
Are those locations we share with the county?
Are those locations, now these are all referring specifically to ones within the city of Daytona Beach Shores that are not on county land. The county does have 2 parks in Daytona Beach Shores, but these are referring specifically to off-beach parking, both in the parks and adjacent to some businesses, places where we reclaimed extra wide rights-of-way to establish off-beach parking spaces. So not only shared with the county, no. We don't maintain those. We do, but that's a whole separate entity. This commitment was about strictly non-county Daytona Beach Shores land.
Just a question, then if somebody's going to the beach and they want to park there, is there a way to control that at all? If they've parked there, and have you had to have cars removed from our park areas?
So it's an interesting question. We have recently placed signage regarding specific hours where, when people can park in places, especially at those places where it was becoming an issue, where people were parking overnight or leaving vehicles, et cetera. And we do have an agreement now with a company who will tow, but they will tow not based on driving around and trying to find cars that they can tow, but based on phone calls that staff has noticed vehicles are staying beyond the timeframes allowed on those signs.
Thank you.
I don't want to go into tangent, but just to add a little bit more information, the city does not charge for off-beach parking, and I'm not sure if that's where you were trying to go. So essentially, anyone can park in the city off-beach parking spaces during daytime hours, and they will not be towed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? I do have a question concerning affordable housing. Are we in, because there's been some questions concerning the Florida statute to make sure that every city has a portion of affordable housing. Do we comply with that Florida statute for affordable housing in the city of Daytona Beach Shores?
Yes, sir. There are different moving parts in the requirements in the Florida statutes for housing, for affordable housing, and what I can tell you is that the city of Daytona Beach Shores meets whatever requirements that Chapter 162 requires for affordable housing. You might remember that the city of Daytona Beach Shores were a little unique in terms of our geographic and demographics, but after the analysis that we conducted originally back in January for the first amendment that we proposed and we transmitted, all the requirements were met, and that's the reason why when the FDC proposed or provided the work report, meaning the objections review and comments report that the city planner just mentioned, there was no comment, absolutely no comments about affordable housing. If we had not met any of those requirements, that would have been a comment or an actual objection.
Thank you, Stuart. Appreciate it. Clarification. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Floyd. Is there a motion? Or do we?
I move to recommend approval of ordinance 2025-01 as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Carrie?
You want a roll call, or is?
Yes, a roll call?
Mr. Horgan?
Yes.
Mr. Sy?
Yes.
Ms. Tortori?
Yes.
Mr. Delange?
Yes.
Mr. Lilly?
Yes.
Motion passes, thank you.
All right. That's the only item we have.
We do have two staff comments, one from me and one from Director Cruz. The one from me pertains to the four of you who have signed up for the training session on September 16th. If you wouldn't mind meeting me at the table afterward, maybe grab a donut and a packet that I have printed out for you with just some basic information about it.
Awesome. Thank you. Go ahead.
When did they decide there'd be lunch?
That's something we're going to talk about.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
If I may, I just wanted to make a brief comment about other esteemed members of the board who have put in over 16 years of service to the city of Daytona Shores.
Pay attention.
Since 2009. This is her last board meeting for the year and for her term, and the city commission will be acknowledging her very, very important and long service to the city. And so if you all would like to join in celebrating her and acknowledging her years of service on September 23rd at 6 p.m. to the city commission, please do so. So, board member Roseanne Kunapor, thank you so much. I've worked with you for such a long time. We've had personal conversations on the side, officially and all that. And you've been such a pleasure to work with. So I really thank you from the bottom of my heart, from staff and from the city's perspective. But officially, the formal and all those other niceties will be presented on the 23rd. So I hope to see all of you there.
Thank you, Stuart. That's very nice. Make it proud.
Speech?
No speech. No speech. I've speeched enough.
All righty. Any other comments or any other concerns? All right.